Hello followers, it's Mel and Cass. We're at Dutton Park Cemetery in Brisbane, Australia, and we're going to go and have a walk around Dutton Park Cemetery. We're going to go and knock on Cassie's relatives' door and see if they're home. There's a few of them buried here, and then we're going to show you around the rest of it. We're going to do a few little experiments with the EVP and K2 and see what we get down at a special part of the cemetery where a lot of the Bogger Road prisoners were buried, and some were hung, some died, some are just there. Anyway, so we're going to start off by walking around. So Cassie's part first, and we'll see what happens from there. And Cassie can't talk at the moment because we've just had coffee and something to eat over the road, and he's sort of very contented at the moment. Alright, see you soon. And oh, here's someone who's passed away and is waiting for burial. Oh no, hang on, he's not passed away, so we'll leave her alone. This is probably one of the more unusual graves in the cemetery. There's just a mound of dirt with a hat. There's Luke's stunt hat, so he must have died doing a stunt. I don't know.
So what we're doing now is we're having a rest because I'm tired, and also it's hot today, but it wasn't supposed to be high humidity, but I'm actually feeling the heat, the humidity. So
call some people in. We're not far away from where all the Bogger Road boys were buried that got hung. And yeah, so those who are wandering around the cemetery besides us.
Yep.
And
a little bit later we'll do the divine rods and do a divining rods, and we'll do an experiment with that and see if we can get some yes or no answers. and
And that's where we'll leave it. So anyway,
we were going to try and experiment with the pinwheel, which I was not going to say we've been dying to do, but that's a bit of a punt.
you will.
Yeah. But it is a little bit windy, so it's not going to work. So we're going to have to test or debunk that another time, because the breeze is just a little bit strong today to use that. All right.
It's starting to get a bit of action on
We're just going to stop it here and just pick up the equipment and come back and see what we're getting.
Okay, I'll take this. We've got the ghost box going here, which we've got a couple of answers already, and I've got the K2 meter down there and a voice recorder going. So we're going to see what we get out of those. And
Interestingly, Malcolm, before we started setting all this equipment up, noticed a grave down there, which we'll put up in the video, and it's a
stack it. Me and the girl with a hat on top, but it's not a builder's stack hat.
Yeah.
It's front hat. And we just had a word come up called combat.
So
I said combat, so whether that's relating to that, but we're sitting next to a couple of people here from 1916 and 1917. May's died at only 20 years of age.
And then
And Ali killed in action in France. I didn't read that.
oh,
So there you go, look at that. Killed in action in France.
In France, there you go.
So gee, that's probably what
That's the
combat
combat.
would have been.
We were thinking it was the one down that the chap had, but
And that's
I'll put my glasses on. That says
no, it's not a full word, so you can see you can read that from top.
Neversio, unless it's French.
Neversio sounds a bit Italian to me. Okay, so we're going to ask someone to come in and have a chat. We can talk to what Cassie's holding in her hand there. We can hear what you want to say. And also the voice recorder sitting next to me over here. You can speak into that anytime you want. It's very sensitive, so it'll pick up your voice if you're strong enough to use your voice. And you haven't got anything, you've just got a little reading on, no, look at that, we've got a 21, 24 on the K2. So there's a bit of magnetic energy around. So we'll see what we get.
Right, are we going to ask any questions?
Yeah, I guess.
Alright, so I'm going to ask the Ghost Radio, and remember we're not big fans of this because we do think it's to do with algorithms that are created by the questions that you're asking. So we're not big fans of this, but we're just gonna keep testing it and see what we think of it at the end. So I'm going to try and ask some questions that aren't leading questions, if that's the right way to put it. Could you give a name of one of my family members that we know are here somewhere today? And we better say we do come in peace. We don't mean to disturb anybody. We come with the greatest respect. But we're just trying to prove or debunk the theories around ghosts. We've had our own experiences, so we know what's true to us, but just in general we're seeing what comes up.
And that was an aeroplane that just went overhead,
So if there's anybody that would like to talk to us or give us a sign around where we're sitting, but hopefully give us the name of why we in one part came down today to do a bit of research.
and a good way to use the spirit box when you ask questions. We've noticed a lot of investigators, not all, but the majority will ask a question and only wait about 3 seconds, and then they'll ask another question. Sometimes you should wait at least a couple of minutes to get an answer, to get a response, because it's not like you're sitting here waiting to talk to you. They've got to figure out how to work these things and get enough energy to make a response, so always give them a bit of time.
So is there anybody around where we're sitting that we can confirm names around us in what we're seeing? If you'd like to say anything or show us a sign that you're here. At the moment all we're hearing is the beautiful birds. Beautiful big shady trees here, so I can see why all the birds are around. So is there anyone around us that would like to make themselves known, either by talking on this radio or the equipment there? You can see the buttons, and your energy makes those lights go on and generates a number of lights to show presence.
How do you flip your phone around? How do you flip your phone around?
Okay.
Entity present. Okay, so it's saying there's an entity present. So if the entity that just made itself known, if you could give me your name or how you died, if you know how you died, how you passed away, or where you are, or where you passed away.
And if there's something here that we can verify that with. Do not.
We got a do not.
cure, C-U-R-E, 99%. So
it sounded the same voice, so two things can run into each other. So it could be do not cure. You're not necessarily going to get a whole sentence strung along in one go.
dreaming. Not really relevant to what we've been asking, unless so dreaming and sequence were actually high percentage of the word interpreted as being closer to accurate than not, but it doesn't really relate to anything that we've asked. Fuel, 79%. Again, but not relevant to what we've asked. Is there anyone who would like to tell us what country they were born in, whether they were born here in Australia or somewhere else? Sailing, 100%. So I don't know whether someone around here sailing from another country or not 100% sure.
Well, they're from England down here. This cemetery was opened in 1866, so sailing ships would have been in the river. Noon.
What time is it? Oh, 11:54. So it is nearly noon. Fame.
What's your claim to fame?
Is there anyone that would like to present themselves or contact through this ghost radio to do with maybe the year that they passed or how they passed? Enemy.
Well, this man did fight in France, so he would have died by the enemy's hands. So,
but in reality, it's 3% interpretation, so it could have said energy.
It's 3% strength of the message.
Okay.
It's not interpretation.
I thought it was interpretation. Okay. So the person that said enemy, are you able to give us a name that we can check with a name that's around us, please? Planes, yes.
One just went overhead.
Plane just went overhead.
Is this an adult we're talking to or a child? We might stop it down. We'll have to walk down to the Bogger Road section and see what we can get down there. And then, these are all the people buried here from Bogger Road Jail. This is a list of what they did, who they were, what nationality. There you can read all this. Okay, we moved down to the spot where all the prisoners from Bogger Road Jail had been interred, and there's 43 of them and one woman. So we're going to just call in any people that are in Bogger Road Jail that might want to have a talk, and if we can get your name and how you're feeling now after you've been convicted and hung. Whoa, a bird nearly on me. Anyway, so we've still got the spirit talker going. I've got the BPM going down here, voice recorder, and I don't think we'll worry about the other one. We'll see what we get with these guys. And we've got a workman just over behind us there doing a bit of maintenance work. So anyway, if anyone's here and likes to have a chat, you can talk into this device I've got in my hand.
I've got the rods here, which have been used by many people over the years, not just for intuitive, but also for finding water. The old bushies swear by them. Indigenous use similar. This is just a different form. So how it's going to work with me asking is a crossover will be for yes, and if they separate, that's a no. Alright, so first question. Can you confirm if any of my relatives are in this cemetery? That would be a yes. A big yes. Alright. Let them settle. So I'll ask now what I think is a definite no. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it's a definite no. Are any of Malcolm's relatives in this cemetery? No. So that would be a no, which from everything I've researched should be true. Alright. Are there people here from Bogger Road Jail? That would be a definite yes. Let them settle. Right. I'm going to ask a question.
Am I going to get a nice cappuccino in the city? Only joking. Was it a cruel place being in Bogger Road Jail?
That would be a yes.
Oh yeah.
Alright.
That's really a given.
You set. And what's a question that we know would be a no? I think. Are we sitting in Toowong Cemetery? Okay. So I take that as a half.
Well, some of the people, no.
No, for the fact that we're sitting in a cemetery, but it's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
Toowong.
no.
And it didn't cross over as a yes. Okay, so we'll ask another no question, another yes question. Oh. What can we ask? Was the soldier who died in action in France, did he live here in Brisbane? Yes. So part yes. Alright. I can't say if my great-grandfather buried here because one of them is supposedly. Okay. Hang on, let it settle. Not very... Well, there you go. There's a big no. Alright. I just wonder if the wind interferes.
It shouldn't be. They're a piece of wire.
Alright.
Were there sailing ships in the Brisbane River when you were alive? Right.
That would be a no. Oh, yes. That swung very... Okay.
Oh.
That's a yes. Was it the soldier before in France who passed away in France? Was that who was coming through on the spirit radio? That would be a yes.
Mm.
That's a yes. And did you sail to France? That would be a yes. That confirms the sailing. And did you have an enemy? That would be a yes. Were you over 50 when you passed? That would be a no, because I remember his age. Were you under 30? I'll ask that one again. I can't get them to... Right. Were you under 30 when you passed? So this one's a definite no, so maybe it's someone else now. Are you a different person to the sailor? To the soldier? They just don't want to come back. They've swung right around.
It could be someone standing behind us. Is there someone standing behind us? Cross them over for yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes, there's someone behind us. It wouldn't be Wilhelmina Clark.
Oh, yes. How old's Wilhelmina?
Wilhelmina
Oh, she's parking around.
passed away in 1961, aged 83.
How delightful. What an
Also,
age.
dear Uncle Daniel Schultz, who passed away 1960, aged 79.
Right, I'm going to do them again.
So it could be one of them.
All right, how old was Wilhelmina? If it's Wilhelmina, she's loving the energy. So Wilhelmina, did you make it to 100? No. Wilhelmina, did you make it to your 80th birthday? Did you have your 80th? That would be a yes. What else? Nothing else of interest? Sorry for sitting on your... That's a bit funny. Right.
Well, I think we established that the binding rods can give you a perfect yes or no answer to a question you asked. So,
Yeah.
that person.
So that
Wilhelmina
to me,
Clark.
I think the rods are more of a confirmation. Plus we asked, so she was 83, so we asked, did she reach 100? And it said no. But did you make your 80th birthday? And it was a yes. So to me, once again, it's just proven that the simplest...
Some simpler things that are tried and true that...
And tested. Like farmers have used it, Indigenous people.
Rods have been around for years, and there was a great movie done with Mel Gibson in it that he was awarded a biner. in Australia, and his sons went to Gallipoli to fight in the war together, and they both were killed in Gallipoli and buried there on the battlefield. So, well, they thought that's where they were buried. So he wanted to bring their bodies back to Australia, or at least find out where they died, and he went to Turkey, walked through the battlefield, and used a set of divining rods. And this is a true story. You can find the movie. I can't remember what it's called.
And it was based on a true story.
Yeah, true story.
Yep.
And he walked through the battlefields and with his divining rods, and when they crossed, he started digging in the mud and the dirt where the battlefield was, and dug up both his sons, hugging together with their dog tags to prove that's who they were. And and found them. So, voila.
And
Anyway,
that's why I'm more of a fan of the divining rods.
they work on energy from the person. So,
yep.
if you're going to think about using them, buy a pair of divining rods and you use them. You don't let
yep.
other people use them, because they start to hold your energy, and so they say it works through your energy.
Yep.
So once they're tuned in, there's a myriad of things you can ask and get answers to.
So at least the answers yes or no to our questions were more relevant, and we could confirm them, the yes and no, as opposed to the ghost radio where other than one or two things, and we could in our minds make them fit, but in actual fact they were still quite random to or irrelevant to what we were asking. So other than enemy and sailing,
I think people just like to hear voices.
Yep.
That's why they invented these apps.
And try and make words fit to where they are and what they're doing, to make it a bit more exciting.
More YouTubey. But anyway.
All right.
We're going to leave you there. We're going to go and head to the river and have a swim. No, we're not. We're going to catch a ferry.
And we're going to have a nice
cappuccino. Cappuccino in town, and then we'll head back to the Sunshine Coast. Okay.
See you soon.
We'll see you on the next trip. Bye.
Bye. Disturb anybody? Disturb anybody?